Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing fine. Today we'll be having verbs from the grade 7. So first you have to log in using the A plus students.com. Then you click on language art, click on your names, scroll down to grade 7 verbs, you select the chapter. And we have a lot of lessons on that dart, but we will complete the first two today. And then in our other classes, we will complete the remaining lessons from verbs. So we have identify past tense, identify irregular past tense review, and simple past, present, and future tense review. So that's what we'll be doing today. Okay. All right, so we need to note that most verbs are most verbs are irregular. Okay, so we need to note first that most verbs are regular in the past tense. That means you follow rule like add ed or d to get the past tense form of the verb. So most verbs are just the regular parts and they end with ed. So we could have cooked like that, regular. We could have washed. We could have okay, so this one is danced. It already has E, so you just need to add D. So we have cooked, washed, danced. All these are regular past tense because they end with ED or D. Okay, and then some of the verbs are irregular in the past tense. That means they don't follow a rule. Instead, you need to remember the past tense form of the verb. So the irregular verbs, you have to make sure that you remember that part of it. You cannot add ed to them. It's just like when we have let's do some examples. We have, for example, we have take, and then we have took. You cannot say take with ed, that's wrong. We can have keep, kept. We can also have swim, swam. So all these are the irregular past tense. They do not end with ed and you do not add ed to them. There are a whole lot of irregular past tense. So you just have to be able to remember them because they do not follow the same rule, with the ones for the ed. So that's it for like this part. So moving on, let's get some examples. So we have go, went. All these are all the irregular past tense. Sing, sang, like that. It's like saying find, found, like that. So all these are like irregular past. They do not end with ed, and you have to be the one to remember the irregular past tense of it. And then the normal ones that end with ed, you have the wash, cleaned, and the rest of them. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so let's move on to this part. We have past tense verbs tell you about something that has already happened. So it's important to note that past tense tell you about something that has already happened. Of course, past tense is like the one we just did above. It's either ed or the ones that don't end with ed. Okay, so we have the regular and then the irregular. Okay, so we have add ed. So we have add ed to form the past tense form of most verb. Okay, so if you want to form the past tense, you have to add ed. A verb already ends with e, then you just add d. So just like when we have dance, and then you want to put the past tense form, it already has e, so you just have to add d. That's all. If a verb ends in a short vowel and a single consonant, double the consonants before adding ed. If a verb ends in consonant y, then change the y to I before adding ed. So it's just like when we have something like this, study, and then you want to put it in the past, you say studied. So you change the y to d. Okay, then you just have to add e ied Okay, and then let's see which one again. Double. It's just like when we, the one for the double consonant is like when we have added like that. So yeah, Sam changed his clothes. Changed also is in past tense. It has the ed. He watched the game. The audience clapped together, clapped loudly. So we have clapped is in the past also. It has ed, and then we have Alex qualified for the finals. Qualified also. So qualify is usually like this with y. So if you want to put it in the past, you have to change the y to ed. So qualified. Okay, so you change the y to ied. So that's how you write the past tense form of it. Okay. And then we also have some verbs are irregular in the past tense. Of course, we know that some verbs are already irregular in the past tense form. You must remember their past tense form, just like the ones that we have already done, like up above. So you have to make sure that you remember the irregular form of the verb. So, like this, we have, for example, go, went. So it's already in the past. Maybe you have eat, ate. So all this, they don't have the same regular past tense that end with ed. So they are unique on their own. Just like saying see, saw. You understand? When you buy, you say, for example, buy, bought. So they have their own unique form, and you have to be the one to remember them. Right roads like this. Okay, so they kept busy all afternoon. So kept is like irregular past. The present is keep. So keep kept. You cannot say kept. You cannot say something like this with ed. That is very wrong. Okay, you cannot say seed. Now, seed is a different word, but if you're meaning like seeing someone, you cannot say seed in past tense. That's wrong. Okay, so we have the present tense also. Present tense verb tell you about something that is true or is happening now. So if you're talking about present tense, it's tell you about something that is true or happening at the moment. The present tense form of a verb must agree with its subject in number. So it's just like saying that the present tense form must agree with the subject. So if the verb is subject, of course, the is present, of course the subject needs to be present. So we have singular subjects go with singular verb, of course. They must be in order. So to form most singular present tense verb, you have to add s. For verbs that end with sh, ch, s, x, and z, add es. For example, words that end in consonant y, change your y to I and add es. So you see the ones sh, ch, x, s, and z. You have to add them with es. You have to end them with es. Just like when we have washes, sh, or watches, ch, you have to end with es. That's the rule, okay? So, for example, we have also the ones that just end with S. You can say visits. Yeah, like that. So, all these are like the normal present tense form. Okay. So we have snow falls outside my window. So falls, you have to just add s because it's the normal like present tense. So falls. So yeah. Okay. So we also have Dalian washes the dishes. So you see, like I said, washes ends with sh. So if it ends with sh, it has to have es to show the present form. So washes. We have Susan carries. So carry is like the one with y. So you have to change the y to I. Es like that. Then plural subject I and you go with plural verbs which have no ending. So if you have the I, you, they go with the plural verb, okay, which have no ending. So I and you stand with the plural verb. So yeah. So let's see. Okay, so just like we were saying for the I and you, go with plural verbs, so which have no ending. Remember that the plural verbs do not have any ending. Plural verbs, no ending. Okay, like that. So we have ice cubes floats in water. Ice cube floats in water. You look nice today. So you can use you and plural verb because usually the plural verbs have no ending. They do not end in es or ies or anything. So we also have two verbs are irregular in the past tense form, and it is the to be and to have verb. You must remember their forms. This soup is too hot. Erin has long hair. So you have to remember the irregular. The verbs are the verbs are in irregular in the present tense. So you have to make sure that you remember them. They are the only unique ones that are like that. Okay. So we also have the future tense. Okay, so we have future tenses tell you about something that is going to happen. So of course we know that future is something that has not happened already. You have to add will to form the future tense to all the verb. The boys will finish later. Tanya will speak at the conference. So you can see that it also has will. It's like saying we will have dinner at the restaurant. Okay, so it's like saying I will go shopping tomorrow. Okay, so like that. So anything about the future has will, and then we know about the past tense. It has irregular and irregular past tense. That's like very common. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Do you have any question at all before we move on? So let's move here now. Do some questions before we move on to the test. So we will start with the irregular past tense review. So it says to complete the sentence with the tense, with the verb in past tense. So we already have this question. The WAPS that dash Ava was only acting in self-defense since she almost trampled it. So we have to look at it as the irregular, right? So you have to put the irregular past tense there. Okay, so you have to take note and remember that. So depending on how the question comes, is it asking for past, present, simple, you have to make sure that you answer the right question. Let's check the test. So yeah, if you want to participate, you can send in your answers, or you can participate actually. Try to make it interactive. Let's see if you understand it so that you can put in your answers. Okay, so we have the blankets Pamela dash should keep her warm. So you have to put the irregular past tense of this verb. You have to select the irregular past. So which one is the irregular past tense here? Which is in the irregular past? So we have buy and we have bought. So of course bought will be the irregular past. So we also have it took determination and hard work, but Wayne finally dashed his debt and started saving money for a house. So this is like the irregular so this lesson is the irregular and regular, right? So you have to look at this one. Which one is in the past tense? So it's going to be repaid. So you have options for regular, you have irregular. You just have to make sure you read it carefully and select the right answer. So if you know the answer, you can as well just send it so that we can have a interactive lesson. So we'll go with the first one. So the ostrich yeah. Robin was so annoyed by the absurd plot twist in the book that she dash it down on the on the bed and refused to read anymore. So, is it which of them, flung or flinked? Which is the right answers? So you have to put it in the past tense. Remember that it's irregular past. So you say flung, okay? Flung. Imagine Chantal's despair when she tore the blouse she had borrowed from her sister, especially after she swore to take care of it. So we're talking about the past, the irregular past. So we have swore, it's like when you swear in the past tense. Mr. Blake dashed a variety of fruits to the picnic, including tangerine, kiwis, and assorted melons. So is it gonna be brought or bring? Bring, brought. Which one is it gonna be? You have to choose the right one. So we have brought. Okay. I know Ethan was only trying to help, but I'm furious that he dashed my favorite shirt by putting it in the dryer. So is it shrink or shrunk? He shrunk. Okay, so this is it for this part of the irregular past tense. If you've not done this lesson before, you can try to complete this lesson. And then if you even still need more help after the live class, you can click on this chat button over here and you can get some more help that you need. So we'll move on to the next, which is simple past, present, and future tense. So yeah. Okay, let's look at some examples. We have the nurse dash the cuff to take the patient's blood pressure. So, so this you have to put it okay, it's asking for the past tense. So you have to make sure that you read the question carefully. Some will come with asking for past tense, some will come with simple, and others will come with future. So for this one, it's fastened. So she fastened, okay? Ed. At the meeting before the dig, the archaeologists dash the various tasks to be carried out at the site. So this is also asking for past tense. So you have to take notes when you answer your question so that you don't go click on the incorrect one. So we have outlined. So outline past. So we also have, okay, this is same question. Okay, let's move on to the test so we can try to answer some questions together. Okay, so let's move on to the test. Okay, so this says that complete the sentence with the present tense. So, like I've said, you have to make sure that you read the question. This is asking you to complete with present tense. Did you know that a water molecule dash of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom? So, is it consist or consist? Which one is the right answer? If you know, you can send in your answers on the chat. Okay, so what do you think is the right answer here? So consists with the S. So the forecast is calling for colder temperature later this afternoon. So the precipitation dash to snow. So this is asking for future tense. So remember the future tense comes with will. So the precipitation will turn to snow. Okay. Tomorrow, Mr. Davis dash with his publisher to discuss the release of an upcoming novel. Future tense also, so it has to be will meets. Because remember that future tense always have will attached to them. Nathan and Jenny dash traveling around Europe and seeing the different buildings and monuments. Present. So this is asking for present tense. So Nathan and Jenny enjoy traveling around Europe and seeing the different buildings and monuments. So after a considerable number of edits and rewrites, the author finally past tense. So this is asking for past, so it's going to be the author finally published his book about the history of architecture. Do you think our civilization dashed to exist in the next few centuries? Future tense will cease to exist or cease. So it's asking for future. So of course it's going to be will cease to exist in the next century. The nurse fastened because this was in our tutorial. This catalog dash you some ideas for decorating the conference room. So this is asking for future. So this catalog will give you. So yeah, that's it for this particular lesson. Let me know on the chats. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Okay, so our next lesson, we're gonna continue with more of the lessons. But if you haven't done these two lessons that we have completed today, the first two, so you have to make sure that you try to complete the first two lessons. And then next class, we will do some more from these up until the end. So we will take it step by step, and then we will finish the lesson on the verbs. Okay, and after the live, if you still need more help, you can click on this chat button here. This button is gonna take you to get more help. So after you click on that, you can get more help if you still need more help. Okay, so I hope that you all have a good evening. Take care of yourself and see you next time. Bye, guys.